So, welcome back to the shop, guys. Nothing crazy today. I'm going to go drive around town, see if I can't do a little bit of testing with the wagon. I need to do a little bit more shakedown. I keep talking about that, but I really haven't put my money where my mouth is. So I want to see if I can't find a few trails. May see what kind of trouble I can get into. I don't want to get into nothing too crazy, but you know, usually when I say that, I get into something stupid. So we'll just see where today takes us. It's kind of a random video today. As far as the wagon stuff, I'm going to go ahead and finish up. The only thing I really hadn't finished on the lift is I didn't want to put my cotter pins in and everything until I was completely satisfied with how I was going. Well, I'm completely satisfied, so I'm going to go ahead and put my cotter pins back in before I actually do a good long road test. That way no bolts rattle out or back out. I mean, that just makes sense, right? Alright, anyway, yeah, let me get those cotter pins put in and then we'll hit the road and see what we can find. Well, Nate, that's what you wanted. That I could not even make it up a quarter of the way up that before I fixed my four-wheel drive, and now it's, as you can see, I got up it easily, so I can just crawl that now. It's ridiculous. Like before, I was having to get a running start, and I'd only get, you can see where the marks are there, kinda. I was only getting like halfway or maybe almost 3/4, so I really got a good running start. But it's easy peasy mode now. Oh, that's so much better. It's almost scary how well it went up that hill now. And that's not, you can't really tell on camera quite as well, but it's not a, it's a very steep hill. Hopefully the other camera angles kind of gave you an idea of how steep that is. The Viscous coupler works. Well, for this extended test drive, man, I've been driving around for now about almost 2 hours, just dirt roading, just kind of trail riding. Did a little test on that hill, everything went fine. It climbed the hill way better than I ever had before. The wagon's doing spectacular. The Viscous coupler, the lift, everything else that I want to kind of shake down has been on point, 100% so. I was looking underneath it, just kind of checking all the bolts, making sure nothing rattled loose or was doing anything crazy. My drive shaft is still a little bit of a crazy angle, so I'm getting a little bit of shudder when I'm leaving under load, like second gear and first gear. That's the only place I'm seeing shudder anymore, so I think if I can space that off, maybe get a little bit longer bolt for the front half and drop it down, because the rear looks pretty good. The angle of the drive shaft looks fine, but the front still has a little bit sharper angle than I'd like to. So I'm gonna see if I can't run by the hardware store and grab a little bit longer bolts. Well, one other thing I want to mention is I was looking underneath there and I was just kind of looking at the Viscous coupler. I put my hand on it and noticed it was hot, or it wasn't hot, but it was warm to the touch, which it should be for 2 hours of driving around and whatnot. But I was also thinking my exhaust runs right along next to my Viscous coupler, and that got me to thinking, as an engineer and heat properties and heat transfer, would it behoove me to go ahead and put an exhaust strap around that part of the resonator that's closest to the viscous coupler? That way I don't prematurely cook my fluid. Because if you think about it, that's always getting hot, and it's always right there next to the viscous coupler. And that resonator is going to hold heat, and it's going to hold heat next to the viscous coupler always, keeping the viscous coupler temperature up, keeping that fluid hot. It'd be good for engagement all the time, but at the same time, I don't know, I don't want to prematurely wear out my my silicone fluid, so that's something I'm going to think about. I may go ahead and buy some exhaust wrap and some header wrap and go ahead and wrap just that resonator next to the viscous coupler. So I'm going to go tool around the dirt roads a little bit longer, just fiddle fart around, see the sights. This area gets really flooded when it rains, so it's kind of neat to come down here. So it's kind of neat to come down here and just see the water and just see what's all down here. And there used to be a really nice mud hole here, but they kind of ruined that when they opened up this whole area and filled it in or something. So I'm going to go dirt road a little bit longer and then run to the hardware store. But look at this. It looks fantastic. I'm so happy. I'm so proud of how it's turned out. So I know I talked about yesterday that I kind of wanted to do a mudding video today, but I started thinking about it, and this is exposed really well to my intake. And if you know any history about me and seen my other videos, I drowned this wagon once before because I wasn't thinking straight. I want to avoid that. I have a pre-filter on my filter here. You can see it in there, but still, I don't want to get water and mud stuck up in there. So I'm going to rebuild the fenders first before I go dump off into mud. So that's why I want to go test the viscous coupler today on a hill instead of just throwing it off into deep mud. But that's enough for today, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!